What's up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. I don't know why this topic came to me, but felt like it'll be interesting to go into. Appreciate y'all. A couple of y'all that's already in here waiting on your big brother. Sorry I'm late. Y'all know me. Um, what I would like y'all to do though, as you walk into the door, please hit that like button for your big brother. Please hit that like button for your big brother as you walk into the door. And we'll get right into it, man. Shout out to all of y'all coming in, Brother G and Ren L Rated, Jamarcus South. What's up, Jamarcus? David Velasco, Derek Mallory in the building. We're gonna get it popping, man. I want to talk about the power of suggestion, and that's something that has been in effect really forever, but under that particular title, it's more of a psychological term. It's a term that's used a lot in psychology, it's in science. There's a lot of scientific base to it because it's an official term and it has many functions, has many uses, and more uses than we may be aware of in our everyday life. And a lot of our everyday life is guided by the power of suggestion. Um, Predominantly subconsciously, because that's what it is. It's basically someone's ability to plant a thought or plant an idea in your head and make you carry it out without you necessarily realizing that that's what you're doing, that you're kind of doing the bidding of somebody else, or you're trying kind of leaning towards somebody else's ways through your actions. And it's so subtle the way it's done in certain situations, and it's even more in depth in the ways that I'm going to explain it, because um, I just want us all to know that we are all affected by the power of suggestion, and that comes from this world that we live in one way or the other, regardless if we want to call ourselves free thinkers and we don't follow anybody and we stand on our own mind, and I got my own mind, and okay, sure you do, sure you do. Um, I kind of want to take it in a certain order, but I got stuff all over the place in my head. But I'll kind of keep it on a simple level and see if I can grow it. You have people who will tell you what's best for you. They will speak on what's best for you. They'll say things like, man, you really shouldn't go to such and such school. You should go to such and such school because I've seen you do this kind of work, man, and you're really good at it, man. I mean, if you did that, you could be nice at it. You could be cold at it. You could probably make way more money than, and even if your heart and your mind is telling you, well, nah, I may be pretty good at that, but I love this more. I really want to do this. And they go, nah, man. And then you start to lean towards what they're saying because they've applied so many adages to it, like, you're so good at it. So now that's the stroke of the ego. Oh, you would make so much money at it. Now it's the financial attraction to it. So they put adages onto these things, and some people mean well, some people don't. Because some people will use the power of suggestion to take you out of your purpose. In other words, they will see you going down a road that's the perfect road for you. But in their own envy and in their own sickness that they have in their heart, they don't want to see you reach that level of success. So they'll start to say, well, man, you sure you want to do that? Man, that's a tough field to break into, man. I don't know, man, because if you don't make it, then what? I mean, that's a chance you got to take, man. I mean, man, you got kids, you ain't got time to be. They start throwing out the negative adages, and that puts doubt in your mind. And that's exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to take you off of your purpose because they have an insecurity and a fear of you elevating and them still being in the same spot. So even if they don't realize that what they're doing is utilizing the power of suggestion, they may not understand it under that particular term, but that's exactly what they're doing. And if you leave them and you decide, you go home and you start thinking, well, maybe he's right. It is going to be pretty hard to do that. That is going to be kind of, maybe he's right. And then you come back the next day and be like, man, I thought about what you said, man. I ain't going to try to do that. I ain't going to try to do that. And in their mind, they like, yes, got him, got her. Thing. Because the thing about the power of suggestion, it can work for the negative or it can work for the positive. Depends on who's doing the suggestion and the suggesting, and it depends on the motive of the person that's suggesting something to you. Now, if we go into deeper things, just deeper levels, more, but levels that do affect us on our everyday life, the power of suggestion has affected us in just regular everyday culture. Why do you think that why do you think that they say art imitates life? But why do you think we're seeing situations now where life is starting to imitate art? And what do I mean by that? When they say art imitates life, that to me is speaking to people looking at the world and what's going on in the world and then creating art, creating music, creating cinema, creating artistic pieces, creating books and writings that reflect what you see going on in the world. That's art imitating life. But then it goes in reverse when you have those same things that I mentioned, the music, the movies, the songs, whatever the case is, and those things start to take on a personality, a negative personality that makes people start to imitate the negative art that's out. All of that is done through the power of suggestion. So if I'm on a song talking about how good it feels when I get high, how good it feels when I pop these pills, how good it feels when I get drunk, when I drank this particular wine, when I drank this particular liquor, this alcohol, I drank this 40 ounce, whatever it is, going all the way back. How good it feels to get revenge on an enemy. And I give descriptive details of how to do it through a song. I show it on a movie screen, on a TV screen. I write it in a book, and I'm able to word it in such a way that it becomes attractive to the person who's taking it in, and it becomes so compelling that people start to mimic and imitate that kind of behavior. Then what has happened is we have become a victim of someone's suggestive powers. And keep in mind, I'll repeat again that a lot of times the people who are doing it, they don't view it as the power of suggestion. Some view it just as entertainment. Some lay it out because that's a lifestyle that they actually have come from and they just expressing it. Some people don't know what the hell is going on. Some people just following what they heard somebody else do. It sounded good when he said it, so I'm going to say it. But when the effects start to take shape within a community, then you realize that, oh, they're imitating these rap songs. Oh, they're imitating these new wave love songs, which ain't really love songs. They're more sex songs. Because the R&B now compared to the R&B 30, 40, 50 years ago, it ain't the same. The R&B music that could come out back in the 60s and the 70s and even up to the 80s, I think it ended towards the end of the 80s when everything got over-sexualized. Those R&B songs back in those days, they could tell you everything that they wanted to do without ever using the word sex, without ever using the word, the term sexual behavior or licking somebody up and down or hitting it from the back or whatever. They never had to say those things because the phrasing of it, the lyrical style of it, the terminology was crafted in such a way that we understood what was being implied without it being so directly expressed. I think the only song that I can think of off the top of my head from that time frame, and this was into the 80s when it was kind of more accepted, was when Marvin Gaye made the song Sexual Healing. When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. That's like the first time you would hear like sex, the word sexual or sex in a song, in an R&B song. The rap, we all know that's a whole nother animal. But the point I'm making is that even then, the melodies and the instrumentation and all that, that was a power of suggestion that put you in a mood, like they say, mood music. You got a date come over, you put on some Isley Brothers or you put on some Teddy Pendergrass, some Al Green and Luther Vandross, whatever it is. I'm going back in the old school. I don't know what y'all putting on now. But you put on that type of music to do what? To set a mood, and the setting of that mood itself is a suggestive climate, creates a suggestive climate. It's a suggestion, the mood. You're trying to get somebody in the mood. You are pushing them towards a mood. So this is just another example. When you see people wearing certain clothes, wearing certain outfits, right? And hey, look, y'all follow me on this one because, like I said, I know this may not be a topic that is just so exciting or so wow, it may not be that, but everything I talk about is not gonna be just on a base level, just on a regular level. We got to go within ourselves sometimes, within our minds, to try to get a full understanding of everything around us that directly affects us when we are not aware that it does sometimes. So this topic might not be for everybody. This might just be for the people who want to try to elevate and try to expand their whole view on life. So I appreciate everybody who rides with me on this one. But we can see the power of suggestion at work just by the influence that we draw from everything around us. Like you see a person wearing a certain outfit, or you see several people wearing that particular outfit. You see several people wearing this particular shoe, this particular brand, this particular hat. That brand reached the eyes and the ears of some consumer at some point, and it attracted them enough to where they wanted to go purchase that. And if it attracted enough people, now you got people out on the street who are serving as a walking advertisement for that particular brand. We see it no matter whatever we wear. This is my brother Jay Walker. This is his shirt. He made this shirt, he designed this shirt, he gave this shirt to me. If someone was to see me walking around with this shirt on and say, man, I like that whole slogan, color outside, I like that. Where did that come from? Then I say this from my brother Jay Walker, I pass on that information, they connect, now they got the shirt. But on a bigger scale, if you're talking about Nike, if you're talking about Gucci, you're talking about Louis V, you're talking about whoever, right? Now we become walking billboards, walking advertising, walking promo representatives of these products that when people see it, if they like it, it speaks to them without saying a word. See? Things that speak to us without saying a word, but it's still suggestive. Like, wow, that's a nice hat. The hat is talking without saying a word. A particular, you will see women wearing a particular hairstyle. Bunch of women, this a popular hairstyle comes out. Certain type of wig comes out. Certain dress comes out. And you'll see women all around the world wearing the same thing. That was a suggestion made. Something spoke to them without saying a word that made them want to participate. So this is how this affects us every day. While we may say, well, oh, man, I'm a free thinker. No, somebody thought for you. Now, everything that happens like that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's not saying you wrong. It's not saying you stupid. No, I'm not saying that. There's some things that fall under that category, but I'm just trying to make it known that it's more expansive than we may give credit to. We know about subliminal advertising in TV and in radio. We know about how you can just see a hamburger on TV and all of a sudden you want a hamburger. That was a suggestive ad. They planted that in your head. You weren't even hungry before that. When you walk through the mall and then you enter into the food court area, all these different smells start coming to you. You know where that always gets me at? It always gets me at the airport. Every time I go to the airport, I'm a cat that don't even eat early in the day. I just don't. I eat later on. I try to eat one good meal a day, and that's it. So at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, noon, 12:30 p.m., I don't eat. I don't eat until later. But when I go to the airport, if I got a flight that's leaving at 1, 2, when I hit that, when you come through security and you hit that open spot where all those food spots are inside the air, it's like a food court in a mall inside the airport. Y'all know. And you start to, those different smells start to come here and hit you like, man, I need to give me something to eat. And if you're not careful, well, if I'm not careful, I'll break my own pattern because those smells have spoken to me without saying a word. The power of suggestion done through other means that are not verbal. So discipline comes into play. And I'm using those examples because it's the same thing in other aspects of life, because people will try to plant things in your head for you to do that they wouldn't do, that might get you jammed up. That's where the term crash dummies comes from. Because somebody will tell you, man, I wouldn't let him talk to me like that. Man, I wish that was me. That couldn't have been me. See, we talked about this before. That is suggestion. They are trying to just drop little droplets on you to persuade you to react or act out in a way that may get you jammed up. So now, instead of processing a situation and saying, is it really worth it? Is it even big enough for me to respond to that in action or verbally? Now we are looking at this person as if we have to act in order to receive some level of approval from them. I have to prove myself to them. That's a mistake. Man, you're gonna look real weak if you don't handle that, man. You're gonna look real weak, man. I'm just saying. You know, they always got that. So you gotta watch it. They always got those little sidewinding little phrases about themselves, like, I'm just saying, man, you know, if you want to go out like that, that's you. But I mean, I ain't telling you what to do. I'm just saying, if it was me, and then you sitting there like a dummy, like, hell, you know, I don't want nobody to say I'm a punk. And you go shoot up the man's house because he just he opened the car door and bumped your door by accident and scraped your paint. See? Then the suggester always removes himself from the situation. Hey, man, I ain't tell you to do that. I ain't tell that fool to go down. When the police show up, well, he said that y'all were talking, and man, I ain't tell that fool to do that. He did that on his own. See? And now you left carrying the weight because you were trying to get approval from a foolish person. See? Because there are people who will hype you up. We've been doing that since we was little. That's what we did when we was young. Like, man, you know who would be a good fight? Boy, if Charles and Willie fought, I think that'll be a good one. And you go get in Charles' ear. You might even make up a lie. Man, Willie said he can. For real, he did? So people will hype you up to do certain things. And they'll hype you up through compliments. See, this is what you got to understand. It ain't always about, this is annoying me. It ain't always about somebody trying to play on your manhood or your womanhood all the way. That's just one card that people will use. See, sometimes people will get you to do things for them. People can use you, and y'all gonna feel this. Because if you've grown, you've been through it. People will use you through compliments. It's a slick tactic. They'll start out just telling you how real you are. Well, see, man, because you one of the realest, man. See, I know. See, you cool, man. See, you ain't like all the other cats. See, they can't. They try to do, but see, you the best one out of all of them. And see, they just hyping you up, and you sucking it up. You just gazing out like, Yeah. And then all that is just leading you up and setting you up for the, yeah, man. So what it is, if you come through and help me move my furniture, man, I appreciate that, man. See, cause my brother didn't even want to do it. See, I ain't never had no good relationship with my brother, man, and I'm his own brother. He won't even help me, and I gotta move all this stuff out of here by tomorrow, man. That's why you always been my best friend, bro. And see, they are trying to get you to do something, but they slipping in those ego strokes at the same time. I mean, it's strategic. And this is on just our level of our circle of acquaintances. This ain't on no elitist MK Ultra CIA operative type level yet. We'll get to that. I'm talking about your own circle of acquaintances who will use the power of suggestion in the form of stroking your ego to get you to do stuff for them, to use you. Here's the deal. If a person needs your assistance for something, if a friend, a real friend or some family member, they just gonna straight up ask you, hey man, I gotta move, man. You think you can help me move Tuesday? That's it. Because we know who we are with each other. We know we good. I ain't gotta build you up. I remember that time, boy. That time you dunked on 4 people, boy. Man, you could have made it to the league, man. You was nice, man. I just think about that the other day, man, how good you played, bro. Man, you was nice, man. Yeah, so anyway, man, these people talking about they getting ready to cut my lights off and stuff, man. They just ease right, they just blend right into it. See? So you have to have what they call the power of discernment. Shout out to Swift Business, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the donation, Swift Business. Swift Business. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that a lot. Much love to you. You have to have the power of discernment, which means that you can sift through the words, you can sift through the visuals, you can sift through the actions and make a decision, a conscious, educated, mathematic decision on how you should handle a situation or deal with certain people. Because we live in a world where we are so driven and moved by emotion. And people, man, people are regular people, man, are scientists. Your partner in the hood is a scientist. The dude in the front of the store begging for money all the time, he is a scientist. The girl at the club, the dude at the club, they are scientists, meaning that they have a full understanding on how to speak to people. They have mastered the art of suggestion and manipulation. They've mastered that in a way that they know exactly how to push your buttons to achieve the results that they're trying to achieve. See? Power suggestion is what we're talking about, man. Shout out to everybody who's coming in right about now. Anything you missed, you can backdoor it once it's over with. Or you can just go back to the beginning. You might be a little bit behind, but you'll finish late, but you'll have the full totality of what we're talking about. But be sure, whatever the case is, to hit that like button when you come into the door. Make sure you do that. See, I read where it said the power of suggestion, like they're describing it as part of it as the the contradiction. It said contradicts the idea of free will, which most of us will claim that we have. We'll say that we got free will. We do have free will, but we are not 100% self-guided. You got the will to do whatever you want to do, but sometimes other people have the power to move your will the way they want it. They can control it the way they want to control it, and you don't think that they do. See? So that's where these things come into play. And it works for the good and it works for the bad. Again, there are people who know they're doing it, and there are people who don't know they're doing it. For the good and for the bad. But the only power that it has is our reaction to it. That determines the level of power that the suggestion has. How do we? The suggestion meant nothing if it didn't get a response from us, left or right. See? Now, on a deeper level, you got people who will impose the power of suggestion through other means, through more psychological means or scientific means. Like some people may go through hypnosis. It may be something that they're afraid of, and they want to be hypnotized out of it. So you allow yourself to go under hypnosis, and then that person who's hypnotizing you, they place that suggestion into your mind that, okay, you will no longer be afraid of this, or or deeper means of hypnosis to try to rewire a certain thought in your head or a certain way of thinking in your head. That is something that, okay, that's something that's self-imposed, something that you agreed to do. Other times, this is what y'all got to be careful with. I don't even know if I should say this one. But do you know that you can suggest things to people in their sleep while people are asleep? Because the conscious mind never turns off. And you in that knocked out sleep. And your significant other is leaning over you, whispering suggestions into your mind, trying to influence you to do things. And then at some point you get up and decide, if you think that you're deciding that this is what you want to do, but they put that in your head while you asleep. Now, if you're a light sleeper, it might not work, because you might wake up like, what are you talking about? But it's the same principle, like if you fall asleep and the TV is on and you're hearing things on the TV. You ever seen somebody fall asleep while they were watching something on TV and y'all still up, and then they start talking in their sleep, and they talking about what was on the TV or something? Oh man, you better run. Freddy Krueger gonna get you. Like, because what they were visualizing and seeing on that screen, they just drifted off and it just incorporated itself into them. And like I say, people will talk to you in your sleep and try to suggest things to try to take power over you. See? I don't trust folks like that. I wouldn't want nobody trying to manipulate me like that. But on a conscious level, sometimes for the sake of making you a better person, a productive person, I saw somebody say something. Kenneth Matheson just said something about Mike Tyson. I don't necessarily know if they did that to Mike Tyson, but seeing Mike Tyson gives me another thought of an example of the power of suggestion. That's exactly what they do with fighters. As they are physically training a fighter to be a great physical specimen, they're also putting things in his head. You the champ. Come on, champ. You the best to ever do it. Come on. You're gonna be the world champ. You great. They're gonna instill that into that fighter. You're gonna be the heavyweight champion in 2 years. Stay on it. You got the best hands. You the fastest. They telling these guys this because they're trying to instill that repetition and make it stick to the fighter's mind to make them believe it. Because sometimes the only way to get you to really commit, you can't fully commit to something that you don't believe in. It's impossible. There's no way that you can fully commit to something that you don't believe in. Even if it, I won't say even if, I would say especially if it pertains to you. I can't bring out the best in you if I'm the only one or other people outside of you are the only ones who believe in you. You got to believe it. Because you can train, you can practice all day long, but you'll still have a level of, you still have a lack of confidence and a lack of self-esteem when it's time to perform, when it's time to apply it, because you never believed it. All that stuff they were saying and hyping you up, you never believed it. So their power of suggestion, they steady trying to, then when you do something good, they're like, see, look, because they trying to stack the building blocks of confidence in you to make you go, okay, yeah, I am pretty good. And the crazy part about it, they can actually make you believe it. They can make a person believe it even when it ain't true. And they can get to certain heights even when it's not true, because you have that ground level hype machine, the people that's in your ear telling you how great you are and how good you are and how wonderful you are. That's the ground level. That's your circle. But as you start to ascend, then what attaches itself onto you then is the media hype machine. Because the media will take an individual in sports, they'll take an individual in music, they'll take an individual in any field, and they will hype them up to the mountaintop. And if the person doesn't live up to that hype, then they're going to call them a bust. Oh, it was a bust. It was a fluke. Couldn't handle it. They're going to say all these different things. The same people that built you up are now tearing you down. So they'll make you believe it because there's monetary benefit to be gained if we can get this person hyped up big enough, we can all make some money off of them. But the higher you go up, the more opposition and competition you come across. And at some point, you'll have to prove that you are who they say you are and who they have made you to believe that you are. So I'll think about the female fighter, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey, if y'all familiar with Ronda Rousey, just give me some kind of indication. I know y'all know who Ronda Rousey is. But when she hit the scene in the MMA, she was knocking out she was whooping everybody. She was taking people out left and right. She had that intimidating scowl on her face, and she would stand there and mean mug her opponent, and then she would get in the ring and just proceed to just take them out. And a lot of times, even like in boxing, what they'll do is they will start off a fighter that they're trying to hype up. They'll give them some easy opponents and make it look real easy, like he or she, they just ravaging through the division. Nobody can stop. Wow. Then, as they start to ascend, now the hype starts to match. And everybody's talking about them. They on all the shows. They on all the magazines. They everywhere. Commercials everywhere. But then there's somebody that sees a hole in them. Hole. It's a hole, like, because the true experts, they will spot that weakness. And then somebody in the other camp will recognize that weakness, and they will have a fighter that is specially set up to exploit that weakness and expose the person who got hyped up for not being what everybody thought they was. And that's what happened with Ronda Rousey, in my opinion. Not to say she wasn't good, because her skills were very good, her tactics were good, but when it was time to start fighting better fighters, and as a result of that, it revealed this is my opinion, it revealed a character flaw. Because even if you have a fighter that's hyped up, and beating everybody, and they finally take a loss, most of the greats, they will come back from that loss. They will clean up whatever mistakes they made, and they'll come back from that loss better. And they'll rise above that challenge and be better and say, okay, yeah, that's the real deal. Frazier beat Ali that first time. Ali came back. I'm going to get him next time. And he got him 2 more times. But she didn't exhibit the fortitude. It's like once she lost that first one, she was done. Her heart was gone. She didn't want no more. Because you could see the emptiness in her eyes after she did come back again and lost again, because she had now been exposed, like, we know how to beat you now. And she didn't adjust her game. So the power of suggestion worked against her, because they made her up into something that she wasn't. So when she discovered that I'm not all that what they said I was, you could see it in her eyes. She didn't have to fight no more. Now, she had made a lot of money at that point, and she would still go down in history as one of the greats. And she also raised up the popularity of not just female fighters, but the MMA fighter. And the MMA, she helped to stack on to that popularity. So she got a good legacy. But just on the levels that I'm speaking on, don't let people hype you up when you're not really what they're making you out to be. And if they are hyping you up like that, and you don't feel like you are what they're making you out to be, then you need to work like hell to become that, so you won't disappoint yourself. Forget them. That's the moral of that story. because they will build you up for their own purposes. If I can make money off you, I just gotta make him believe he can do it. Don't worry about it. I got it. Don't worry about it. Let me talk to him. See, people say that all the time. Let me talk to him. Like, just shut up, man. And they go get in your ear looking, man. Hey, man, ain't nobody out there better than you, man. You can do this, and you like, all right. See? Because they got a motive. It's the power of suggestion. These are scientists experimenting on you. We do it to our children for the positive or the negative. People would tell their children they ain't gonna be nothing. People would tell their children, you sorry, you lazy, you sorry like your daddy. People would tell their children, you're gonna end up in jail, you end up in prison just like your daddy. Daddy tell a little girl, you're gonna be a hoe just like your mama. Then the child is just like, then they grow up and they walk into that reality. Because a person that they may have looked up to, that they look up at as this is my father, this is my mother, has shattered them by telling them that they ain't about nothing, that they ain't gonna be nothing. You see? You've suggested that suggestion into your child's mind. If I couldn't do it, you trying to do music. I tried to make it. I ain't make it. You ain't gonna make it. You telling this to your own children, or your own parents telling this to you. You talking about going to school? Who gonna pay for it? I ain't paying for it. You got to figure out it. And you're like, man, you wasting your time anyway. You putting these thoughts in your child's mind. The power of suggestion. They start to believe it. And your child gives up hope at an early age. Because you telling them you are assassinating their dreams. You aborting their dreams in the womb of their mind. Shout out to Jimi Hendrix for the donation. I appreciate you, Jimmy. Thank you so much, sir. But then you also got parents who use the power of suggestions in a positive way for their children. They look their children in the eyes and tell them, hey, son, you can do whatever you want to do. You can be whatever you want to be. Whatever you have in your mind to do, son, you can do it. And they'll go further. They'll say, don't let nobody tell you that you can't accomplish your dreams, all right? Not even me. See, a good parent will say, not even me. Don't even let me tell you that you can't accomplish your dream. See, that empowers a child in. It's like, man, mama just gave me the green light to go for my dreams, even if she don't understand them. Look, ain't nobody out there more qualified to do something than you. Don't ever be intimidated, son. Don't ever be intimidated, daughter. You stand, you speak your mind. If you got something on your mind, son, you let people know. Don't sit up and just take something. Don't sit up and let people do you any kind. You are instilling power in that child when you talk to them like that. Don't let nobody tell you that you dumb. Son, daughter, if you got a question in school, you raise your hand and you ask that teacher. You don't understand, you tell her you don't understand. And if it get to the point where it's a problem, then I'm going to show up. Them the good parents. Those are the good parents. And those types of lessons, those types of seeds, they sit inside the child the same way the bad ones do with the bad parent who talk down on their own child. That is called speaking life into people. We can do that with each other. It ain't got to be with your children. You do that with your friend. Do that with your family member. Speak life into them. Because what happens when people come to you and they down? You got a friend that's just, they going through a bad stretch and they kind of down at the moment. It's like, what's wrong, man? Man, that's when you come in and use the power of suggestion to pump them back up. Man, you tripping with yourself, man. Nah, bro. Mm-mm. You better than that, man. I done seen you get down too much. Nah, bro. You gonna be all right. You just in a bad little stretch right now. Go on, man. Suck that up. So you got a code with your partners. You got a certain code. We don't play that. Nah, bro. Hey, man, look, this is us, bro. We don't, losing ain't an option. Losing ain't an option. Failure is a teaching tool. Failure is a teaching tool. Let me see what y'all talking about, man, on this Sunday night. We will start with Angela Lindsay. I didn't pass that negative mindset to my children because as a child, that stuff hurts coming from your own parents. Absolutely. I was blessed to have two good parents, man, that did nothing but instill positive energy into me. But I've seen it from other people. I grew up around friends, man, whose parents would cuss them out like the day is long. Didn't matter if I was over there, friends and company would call them all kind of stupid MFs and get that clean that and you in there like, oh, I'm just in here visiting. That has an effect. Had effect on friends of mine. Like, man. Then if they come to my house, it's like, man, your mom don't talk to you like that. That has an effect. So yeah, you're gonna discipline your children. You might got to have to get raw with them from time to time. You might have to take that belt off from time to time. Don't get it wrong. I ain't one of them little type of parents who don't believe in disciplining your children with that belt. But even after that, think about that. How many of y'all have caught a whooping and was told by the person that's whooping you that they whooped you because they love you? So even in you catching that whooping, it's love in that whooping. Because the purpose of that whooping that you caught was to make sure that you don't catch a bigger whooping out in the world. But you don't understand that then. If I can check you in here, I ain't got to worry about nobody checking you out there in a way that can't be fixed. See? Let me see something real quick. Let me go back for a second. Angelina says, I never expect to lose. Even when I'm the underdog, I still prepare a victory speech. And that's another thing, because guess what? One of the biggest power of suggestion aspects is the power of suggestion to self, what we put in our own head. See? Again, like I said earlier, when you come up with something and go, Nah, I can't do that. That ain't gonna work. You are suggesting negativity into yourself, and you are setting yourself up for your own failure. So think of a sports event. You know, I use a lot of sports analogies. Y'all know this by now. How many times have you saw a game where the team that was favored to win, oh man, they getting ready to kill these dudes. They playing against the worst team in the league, and they the best team in the league. They about to win by 50. And then somehow they lose. The underdog team wins. The underdog fighter wins. Because you never know. See, the belief of the underdog counts for a lot. The belief in the preparation counts for a lot. So it don't matter what everybody else thinks. Oh, the Las Vegas done picked them to lose. Everybody in the hood say they're gonna lose. His own mama don't think he can win. They standing on the stairs. She's standing on the stairs like Adrian and Rocky, talking about you can't win. His own wife didn't think he could win. Anyway, man. So you have to come into the game with a winning mentality. Use that. Suggest that to your mind. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a win. I'm gonna win. Losing is not an option for me. I'm gonna win. And I always, like Angelina said, I expect to win until I lose. Every time you step out there, like, I'm gonna win. I may not even understand, I may not even really know how I'm gonna get it done. But I'm gonna get it done. It's gonna develop because of my belief that it's gonna develop. That's the thought process you gotta have. It's called positive and negative reinforcement. And affirmation. People do what's called affirmation. They'll speak life into you. Call you up. Hey, what's going on? Hello? Hey, I just want to let you know, man, you're great. You're going to be wonderful today. Wow. Hey, man, you're going to be legendary today. Everything, even in the names. See, that's why a lot of us rename ourselves, because we want to take off anything that we perceive to be either meaningless or negative. We want to remove that from our whole being. And we want to apply a name, we want to attach a name to us that we feel is reflective of what's in our mind. So you see people now, you see women now starting to name their children names that reflect what they want their child to be. So yeah, what's your son's name? His name is Legend. Oh, wow, that's deep, that's strong. You named your daughter, what's her name? Oh, this is Powerlina. She got power. We just stuck the Lena on there at the end. See? See what y'all talking about, man. David Houston said, I wish I would have heard this after my grandmother passed when I was a teenager. But see, you hearing it now. So now you can apply it to somebody else. Now somebody can hear it from you and get the benefit of it. Because the reality of it is, man, we all come from different situations, some good, some bad, some way up in between with other people. And we didn't all get the same benefits that others got, and others didn't have it as hard as we did. Others didn't have it as good as we did. And whatever you did not get, let me say it the other way, whatever good that you received from your upbringing, you have an obligation to give it to somebody else. And whatever you did not get, you need to seek it out from somewhere else. And never let your condition. Never let your bad situation shape your mind and make you become that what was imposed on you. See what y'all talking about. The same baker say that whipping got me right. That's right. Joseph says we all got a beating from mom or dad. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. See, another aspect of this power of suggestion that has really had a strong effect on the society as a whole and on people as a whole is the the political correctness, the push for political correctness, and the attack on anybody who speaks critical against the establishment. That has been another form of the power of suggestion instilled in people to say, if you continue to speak out against this group, you continue to speak out against this philosophy, this ideology, this organization, this way of life, then you now run the risk of being canceled. So they've suggested that. And they didn't necessarily suggest, nobody came out who sits on the top, sits in a big seat. Nobody came out and says, if you do this or say this, you're going to be canceled. It's the people down here that's saying it. That's what the cancel culture is. That's what this mindset is. People who were just walking around carrying themselves as if they are sinless and feeling this they got the right to just pass this collective mass judgment on individuals who say something they don't agree with, or individuals who might misspeak, or individuals who might stand up against a certain power. So there's no one person at the top saying you'll get canceled, but it's been subliminally suggested into your mind based on what you've seen happen to other people. So now, gotta watch what I say. See, that has been shaped. The people have been shaped. You can look, we live in the modern times, what they call the modern times, right? But the further back you go, people had more rope to say certain things. I don't care if it was a comedian. I don't care if it was a rapper. I don't care if it's a politician. That's why you can see old clips of politicians saying things that they would never openly say now, because back then was no big deal. You know, I'll be telling y'all about black-haired Joe Biden compared to gray-haired Joe Biden. Some of the racist statements that he made openly back in the 90s and the 80s and all that, just because he was just with no big deal, no repercussions. I can say that. See? But now, even though he still can't control his innate racism, so now it kind of comes out by accident. But he's still gonna say it. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I'm like, man, shut up. See? So the political correctness has been subliminally instilled in us, and over time it's shaped us now to where it's got everybody right. Everybody like, I ain't gonna say that. And if you say something out of pocket, especially if you black, oh man, look, we're gonna need you to apologize publicly, and then we'll still decide what we're gonna do with you after that. You're going to receive the harshest punishment. And we're going to have to send you to a class, a sensitivity class, to make you understand how insensitive and hurtful those statements that you made were. So that way you'll know not to ever do that again. Whoopee. See? And again, it always seems to happen when a person ain't even said nothing that wasn't true. Whoopi Goldberg statements wasn't false. But now we are trained through the power of suggestion, not verbally. They didn't verbally say anything. They demonstrated it. We saw it through other people. He was like, whoa, look what they did to him. Whoa, look what they did to her after she said that. Whoa, he ain't worked in 5 years. He out of there. He gone. Wow, whoa, woo, hey. And everybody just started nutting up after that. Everybody started nutting up after that because it's like, now we got to protect her. I can't play with my bread like that. So now I'm on TV. Yesterday, I made a comment that was insensitive, ignorant, and ill-informed. And I just want to take the time now to say that I'm sorry. Go listen to my song called I Apologize, man. I almost forgot I made that song. I made a song specifically for that. It's called I Apologize. But the power of suggestion has the skillful ability, when it is used by the wrong people, it has the skillful ability to make right seem wrong and wrong seem right, and can make you believe that right is wrong and wrong is right. You will be scratching your head. Well, maybe. See? So people like to read 48 Laws of Power and books like that that kind of speak to that. Basically, the power of suggestion. How you can impose your will on people through the power of suggestion. That's part of that. See? Let's go back in here and see what y'all are talking about. They say that the power of suggestion, this is the reason why I made this video, because they say that the power of suggestion only affects certain types of people. They said it affects young people, people with low self-esteem, people who are over emotional and more quicker to be susceptible, and people who are just less skeptical, people more open-minded folks, people that are more like, oh God, let me see what you're talking about, you know. But while those people, yeah, that's true, those people are in that category, I contend that it's way more. I say that it affects everybody. We are all either victims or beneficiaries of the power of suggestion. That's what everything around us is. You was born in this world knowing nothing. Somebody planted something in you and you rode with it. See? You planted something in yourself and you rode with it. You scroll down a social media page and you see a challenge on there and you start doing it. That's the power of suggestion. I'm going to follow this stupid trend. See? Christ bearer, bright ruler. Yo, K, I threatened oppositions. They monitor me every day. A lot of sexual stuff from the voices. I don't normally put my Cash App on there, but since y'all asked, because I don't do this for the money. That's the Cash App. Angela, appreciate the love. Motto! That's right. It affects all of us, man. We can't walk around here like we just this machine that's unaffected, that's untouched by the wickedness of this satanic world. The book said the devil would deceive the whole world. I don't like to quote scriptures that I don't know exactly, but I will paraphrase. The Quran talks about, the Holy Quran talks about evil suggestions being whispered into the ears of the people. That's all that is. It's the devil on one shoulder and the God on the other. Who are you listening to? See? Dustin, we're talking about the power of suggestion. I want you to go back in the beginning and watch this video from the beginning when you get some time. Teresita is in the building. Dollar bill. And make you think he doesn't exist. The devil will whisper to you, hey man, I am the devil. I just want to let you know I don't exist, all right? And you go, all right. He's telling you, hey man, it's me, the devil. I don't exist, all right? That's like somebody telling you, hey man, if such and such car looking for me, you ain't seen me. Yeah, but I just saw you. Thank you for the scripture. Put the scripture, Teresita, so we'll know what it says. See? We have to see, in order to fight a war, y'all, like I said in my song, you can't fight a war if you don't know that you're in one. So we have to subordinate our egos to not always feel like we're just so woke that we're unaffected by the attacks of Satan. Oh man, not me. They ain't got me. See, I'm above that. See, I peeped the game long time ago. You may have peeped an aspect of the game long time ago, but it's still something in this world that got a grip on you. I don't care how cold you are. It's something on this world, sis, something in this world, bro, that got a grip on you. And there was a suggestion. It started as a suggestion. It started as a visual. Your eye made contact with something that attracted you, but it wasn't the best thing for you. See? Drop your locations, man. Where y'all at? Drop your locations. And if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button for your big brother. Ain't that many of us in here, but I always try to at least get to 100 likes if possible. So if you haven't hit the like button yet, be sure to do so. In this age of social media, there are so many suggestive things right in our face as we scroll down that alter the course of our thinking. Even if you started your day on a right path, on a righteous intellectual path, you good, you clear, you focused. There's something you can see that can alter your mind and take it to the left. Because just like I said earlier, the analogy about walking through a food court in a mall or in an airport and you're not even thinking about food, and then that smell, that aroma enters your nostrils, and now all of a sudden you want some barbecue. See, the same way that suggestive power overtook you, it does the same thing on social media. You scrolling down and you see something that, oh, I really shouldn't look at this, but I'm gonna click it real quick and see. Raise your lying hand if you say you don't do that or haven't done it. So again, the power of suggestion is not always through words. They can suggest things to you through an abstract means. Let's see where we at. Pennsylvania, Canton, Ohio, man, Illinois, Cleveland, Michigan, New Hampshire. We banging. Ooh, man, y'all out in the cold states. The first 6 states. Ohio. Is it snowing in Ohio? I know it's cold in Ohio. It got to be cold in Illinois. Got to be cold in Cleveland, Michigan, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Virginia Beach. Man, y'all in the cold state. Chicago. Maurice out there in Chicago. Hellraiser in Frisco. The weather might be straight in Frisco. Jimmy is in Dallas, so that means the weather may be. They get a little colder than us in Dallas, though. Austin in the building. I'll be in Austin, Texas next month. I will be in Austin, Texas on March the 18th. I'll give more information as the day comes, man. So y'all, everybody in Austin, y'all come and congregate. We may do a pop-up shop. We may do a meet and greet, but I have an event out there as well that I'll be promoting. Give me 4 more likes, y'all. Machine men with machine minds, machine hearts. Baytown, Toronto. See? Yeah, snowing. Y'all be safe out there, man. Cincinnati. Man, we in all of the cold states. It's all love. Colorado. Okay, Vegas. Yeah, man. M. McKinney, we talk about the power of suggestion, man. Go back and watch it from the beginning, because a lot of stuff I touched on, I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. But we're talking about the power of suggestion, but more so how it affects us in more ways than we know, for the good and for the bad. See, people look at the power of suggestion as just being a negative thing all the time. Nah, man, you can suggest great things, man, in the people. And people can do the same for you. But at the end of the day, we got to understand that everything that we see around us was a thought in somebody else's mind that was imposed on us, however we saw it. If there's a young lady that goes into stripping, she did it because she saw someone else do it, and she saw it be glorified, and she saw it be packaged to be made attractive and to be made something glamorous that persuaded her to say, this is something that I want to do. And it's been made, like I say, they made right look wrong and wrong look right. Now it's been made to look like there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. See? They train us. They train us. And the way that the people think in 2022 is not the same way that people thought in 1992. And the proof is, and again, like I said, in the things that could be said and gotten away with 30 years ago, you can lose your whole career behind it. And I'm not just talking about celebrities. You've seen many people that are just working people that make a post on a social media site and get dragged for it and end up losing their job behind it. Maybe because they spoke their mind. I'm saying to you, don't let the ways of this world mold you and Rubik's Cube your brain out of fear to not make you stand up against what's wrong. Not make you be afraid to speak the truth when you know that you're speaking the truth. I ain't talking about your opinion. I'm not talking about your belief. I'm talking about something that you have did the work and the research on, and you have found to be a 100% fact. Don't let people have you scared to speak on that. Nayeli, era of misinformation and era of false accusations of misinformation, because it is an era of misinformation. That's the fact. That's why this big war is going on right now with the punching the arm and all these other different things, because there is text coming out from this side and text coming out from that side, info on this side, info on that side. And the info that's being promoted and pushed the most is that which backs the agenda. So there's the misinformation, then there's the people who are fighting against the true misinformation, who are being accused falsely of misinformation. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. Man, I see you, Dustin. Man. So keep that in mind as we move forward, man. Keep that in mind as we move forward. Is there anything I missed, y'all? Y'all be teaching me. Peace and blessings, man. Y'all stay safe. All right.